I refuse to go through the airport body scanner.
You guys want to hear some weird stuff about frequencies?
Yeah.
Robert Monroe. This guy.
I'd just like to remind everybody that Labor Day only exists.
Announced plans to start giving chickens antibiotics.
Now check this out, y'all. Check this out. So anybody who, this look like it's Antarctica, anybody who knows anything about Antarctica knows there's a part of Antarctica that's as big as the United States that's tropical. I don't know that's where he going, but bro, the boy just found the opening into the, I don't know if that was the ice wall or iceberg. Hey man, I flipped the phone again because I didn't see it from this angle. Y'all didn't see it like this here. Check it out, bro. Man, what's going on, bro? Is this real? If it's fake, somebody expose it for me. Look at the water flowing. Bro, is that animated or what, bro? That's AI or what? Y'all know we can't go to Antarctica. It is a treaty. We can't go, y'all. No clearance.
Bro, I was with you. I was feeling it. And then I saw the CGI and I'm like, I don't know if I completely believe, but wouldn't it be so cool if that's how it worked? You just went through the tunnel. And then all of a sudden it was the land before times. Welcome back, dudes. You're watching Explore the Weird. I got more strange, creepy, weird For You page content. Let's get right into it.
Yeah, let's go to the mountain. Yeah.
What if water is God?
Then that would mean God is both in us and all around us. That God is both above and below us. Why a woman's water breaks when we're born, and why some religions observe the ritual of baptism. But if water was God, then that would mean that God has no gender. That God takes the shape of whatever container God appears in, which would explain why we have so many different belief systems. Which begs the question, what is the spiritual significance of poisoning the water in Flint, Michigan? Or the oil burning in the Gulf of Mexico? Or the large islands of garbage floating in the Pacific Ocean? If God was water, would that not mean that every natural place is holy? That every thunderstorm was a church without walls? That when the rain falls, it's an act of God's death giving life, and when it evaporates again, it's the day of resurrection? And life itself was just a test of learning how to be and flow like water, how to give life to other people, and how to refresh their spirits and quench their thirst with your presence.
Bro, and didn't they turn that water into wine or something? Regardless, yeah, I love this. It's quite interesting. Be like water. Be the water. What's that, Bruce Lee?
Reflexión de luz en el templo Virupacia en India Hampi. Tecnología antigua.
Que tengan feliz día. Bye bye.
Wait, what? What? What did I just see? The guy just opens his hand, gets sunlight, closes his hand. What kind of crazy temple is this? I just heard about the sunlight app that gives you sunlight from anywhere. They already had it. Oh man, and it wasn't even using mirrors, that was using water. Man, that is crazy.
Has announced plans to start giving chickens antibiotics once again. The shift comes 8 years after Tyson Foods said it was ditching the drugs. The company began putting a label reading "No antibiotics ever" on its chicken packages. Now, Tyson says the new labeling will be seen on packages of its chicken by the end of the year. The new wording will be "No antibiotics important to human medicine." Tyson says about half of U.S. poultry farmers use some form of antibiotics to help keep chickens healthy.
I thought they were supposed to stop the antibiotics so we don't have any super bacteria that grow that we can't fight off with. Oh boy. All right, we're gonna keep it going.
Did you know that crows and ravens, one just flew over and cawed, did you know that crows and ravens aren't really black? No, really. I'm not making this up. They're actually rainbow colored. With our human vision, we cannot see this, so we perceive it as black with a bit of iridescence or oiliness to it. But in actuality, animals who have a wider range of visual capacity with the visual spectrum, they see them as rainbow birds, like incredibly vibrant, all the rainbow colors. And when I learn something new in nature like this, I am always like, what does this just teach me? What perspective, paradigm just shifts for me in my understanding of maybe the color black, maybe of darkness, maybe of crows and ravens, so often associated with chthonic deities, with dark divine feminine goddesses like the Morrigan. Obviously, there's much more going on in the darkness than we thought. And we consider that in the depth of the womb, in the deepness of Mother Earth, that in the darkness is where creation is made. And creation, to me, visually, it always looks like a nebula explosion of rainbow colors. So as far as what this all teaches symbolically, yeah, that tracks. Side note, I really want to see them in their rainbow form now.
Yeah, I kind of want to see them in the rainbow form also. That is crazy. I did not know. That's just how we're visualizing it. Oh, man. And in my religion, it is at times of passing. It is like they say it's the crows that we turn into. Like the ashes, the smoke, that we turn into crows afterwards. Never mind. Reincarnation is a thing. Sorry. Many things. Many things. We're going to keep it going. Wait, did you interact with the video? You stop it. You stop it. TV gang, I see you. You stop eating, start interacting, help us grow. We're trying to grow. Help us grow.
Craziest thing about a mirror is that if you were to look in the mirror right now and make an L with your hand like this, it would also appear as if there was an L in the mirror. But if you were to keep that exact same L and just turn around and try to show someone behind you, this would not be an L to them. This would appear backwards. And that's the thing. Mirrors don't mimic the real world. They invert it. An L in the mirror is backwards in the real world. And it's not just mirrors. It's any reflective surface. So puddles, windows, all of these things are the inverted versions of reality. And the most mind-blowing thing about this is these types of reflective surfaces are the only ways that we ever see ourselves. Looking at a reflective surface is the only way that we know how we look. And since these reflective surfaces invert reality, this means that we've only ever seen ourselves inverted. Everyone else in the world sees us as we actually are, except for us. We will literally never see our own face in person. We will never know what we look like in real time. The closest we'll ever get is photos of ourselves from the past. Try to think about how you look right now. Whatever you thought of is probably inverted.
Oh, wow. That is crazy. Good to know. Makes sense. Food. Bless all your food.
Well, the robots have arrived
restaurants
at
with
least in
face
California.
recognition?
That's where the world's first ever fully autonomous AI-powered restaurant has opened, complete with burger flipping bots.
Here.
Sent CBS's Joy Benedict on a taste test.
Flippy the chef makes Spud spectacular. This automated grill gives the meat its sizzle as this restaurant goes robotic.
For this burger, it will take about 120 seconds.
Cali Express by Flippy is the world's first AI-powered eatery. There's new technology outside the kitchen, too. A cheeseburger. Order kiosks use facial recognition to remember you, your favorite food, and how you like to pay. Then watch the robots work. No humans required.
We can't get enough people to come out to work on fryers and grills. They're dangerous jobs. And this automation helps solve a lot of those issues.
62% of restaurants report being understaffed. Industry experts say most of those unfilled jobs could be done by robots.
Y'all still think this is a game? Look, this is Taco Bell. This is already going on in Minnesota. All AI, fast through Taco Bell. Go right on through, pick what you need to get, bang, 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 you're in and out. But this is going on everywhere, bro. As y'all already know, this is what I do. I put you on to the gazang. And AI is here to take over. And they ain't playing with you. At the lowest, let them tell it. They give you an excuse like, don't nobody want these jobs. Man, yeah, all right. AI is coming to take all the jobs, especially if you can. So if you're not as smart as AI, that job is gone. That's why they try to give you this newer link, the mark of the beast. You got to get this newer link if you want to get the universal pay. But AI is coming, people. And like I said, I don't got no problem with the damn all AI restaurant. It's probably go faster. Look at all the different drive-thrus. It's going to be more convenient, especially for a recipe burger. You know what I'm saying? Or a recipe taco. It's easy. With this person just sitting here, and I ain't got to worry about you putting mayonnaise, fake mayonnaise in my shit, or spitting or doing anything. A robot ain't going to do none of that. So AI doing this, I don't see no problem. See, when you think about it, AI is going to be for the good. But when you think about it, it's going to be for the bad. Who's going to work there? But for a person like me, I ain't worried about no AI. And I want to go get me something very fast and quick. Perfect. But for a motherfucker who need a job, not perfect. You see where we going? Get hip, get smart, invest in a robot. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Get with these startup programs that's doing this. This is Hood News Radio. Y'all comment below.
Bro, I kind of want this AI thing. Maybe they'll finally get my order right, damn it. Regardless, yes, they're replacing the humans. Humans need to get other jobs, find different fields, keep adapting, don't give up.
The real reason why ancient Egyptians kept cats super close to them and even worshiped these amazing creatures. Now, it is scientifically proven that a cat's purr has a healing effect on the human body by emitting a healing frequency. And this frequency ranges from about 20 to 140 hertz. And when this connection happens, it results in reduced stress, increased oxytocin, which is the love hormone, and many other health benefits, as you can see. Ever notice when you're feeling down, your cat will come around you and start purring or rubbing up on you? It's because it senses your frequency and emotions. And this is just one of the reasons why the ancient Egyptians and some of the wisest people in our ancient past always kept cats close to them. You can find cats all over ancient Egyptian iconography. They knew there was something special about these creatures. Ever notice how a cat will just start freaking out over nothing? It's because it's tapped into the spiritual realm. And most spiritual animals on this planet. These people were a lot more wise than you think. Peace and love.
Bro, that's crazy. I've heard this about cats being healing and cats detecting all kinds of things. Actually, many animals detecting some kinds of... All right, interesting. I'm not an animal person, so I probably will not do this.
The Pizza Institute announced yesterday that they are nearing completion of their 30-year study testing the limits of what human beings will eat.
People willingly ate everything our lab created. In fact, they pay money for it. The results continue to surprise me.
Over the course of the study, Domino's scientists have found that decreasing the nutritional value and increasing the visual repulsiveness of their pizzas only makes them more popular.
This applies to the crispy melt pizza. It's basically one pizza inverted on top of another pizza. It looks like something no animal should consume, much less a human.
One recent creation is constructed out of a cardboard-based crust layered in Oreo cookie crumbs and drizzled with a wax-like substance.
We hypothesized that the sight of it alone would repulse customers, but it became one of the most popular items on the menu.
The Domino's scientists now believe that a certain percentage of human beings may have a genetic predisposition to eat unhealthy foods made from other, even unhealthier foods.
It's crazy. The standard American diet, or the SAD diet as I call it, is already terrible, but people on top of that eat all of this processed fast food, which is killing us slowly.
I'm gonna be the cockroach that lives no matter what. You can't keep the goons down. Man, some of that food looked real good. I kind of wanted the Oreo with the wax. Was that wax or was that icing? Was that wax or was that icing? Oh boy.
I just found out something pretty interesting about LED lights. So we've probably seen how a lot of our streetlights went from the orange incandescent bulb to the new LED lights. Well, the new lights, especially since 2019, are being outfitted with 5G technologies. This isn't even the craziest part, but they basically talk to each other. They can send data and information to other parts of the grid, basically. They also have the capability of discussing, communicating with a bunch of different devices, but not all those capabilities are turned on yet. Also, they may be used to work with autonomous cars when that becomes a thing, which they do want us to do by 2030. But something very interesting is who invented the LED bulb. George Crawford, an electrical engineer from Monsanto, invented the first yellow LED in 1972. So thanks to his breakthrough, and his employer Monsanto became the first mass producer of LEDs. That is the same Monsanto, in case you're wondering, that makes genetically modified corn and soy and all their GMO stuff, and they are former manufacturers of things that were used in war, chemicals. So yes, they are responsible for the LED lights, which there's a lot of studies on. The wavelength of light from LEDs may not be best for our eyes, for even our skin, our circadian rhythm. So there's kind of a multifaceted thing going on here, but those new 5G LED streetlights, I wonder if I'd like that or an old candle or incandescent bulb. Which one would you prefer? Comment below.
I'm still gonna go with the LED lights. I can't go back to the old, and it just don't make sense. Candles all around here. What if something goes up in flames? You know, I gotta adapt. I'm spiraling. I thought LEDs were better. I thought LEDs were energy efficient. Now this guy's like, nah, Monsanto, damn it. You
guys want to hear some weird stuff about frequencies?
Yeah.
Robert Monroe. This guy, he figured out the science to use certain frequencies to control out-of-body experiences. But what's creepy, he would speak to entities that would teach him how to use frequencies.
Yeah.
Nikola Tesla also talked about like, out-of-body experiences and learning from entities. Albert Einstein, like all these brilliant people talked about how they learned stuff while they slept. But what's creepy, the CIA bought his patent to start the Project Stargate, which is the people that do remote viewing. He said you can travel across the universe into different dimensions. You can do whatever you want. But people always talk about there's always an entity that is showing them around and teaching them stuff. He perceived these entities are versions of yourself from different timelines. He's like, when you die, you have the option to go wherever you want. This is what he's being taught by this entity. And he's like, you can be your own god. And it's like, heard that before. Red flag. So it's like the same concept as taking DMT. Like, I think you really are accessing the spiritual world, you know, and they probably should not belong there.
Everything all at once. We're just gonna keep hopping. We're just gonna keep projecting to new timelines. The goon's gonna be with us forever. It's just me and you now.
When you share your plans with other people. Watch this.
Scientific data tell us that if we inform people around us that, for instance, we are going to write a book, or that we're going to start a podcast, or that we are going to run a marathon, or whatever it happens to be, more often than not, we get feedback that is generally positive in form. I think that's good and to be expected, frankly. You know, if a friend tells us, hey, I'm going to write a book, or I'm going to pursue a new fitness goal, or I'm going to learn a language, we say, great, go for it. You can totally do it. You're very likely to succeed. Go for it. How do you want me to support you? Is there anything I can do to support you? Those all are, frankly, healthy exchanges. And yet the data tell us that the positive feedback that we get from others when we announce that we're going after a goal activate certain reward systems and motivation systems within our brain that then quickly dissipate and then diminish the probability that we'll engage in the type of behaviors that actually lead us to achieve that goal.
You stop it. We're going to achieve all of our goals. We're going to do the things. We're going to win. We're going to win. Interesting. Good to know, though.
I'd just like to remind everybody that Labor Day only exists because unions were fighting for the 8-hour workday more than 130 years ago. And just to put it in context how long we've been working a 40-hour work week, here's some other things that were invented around the same time. The light bulb was created in 1879. The first car was invented the same year as those riots. The airplane came about a decade later in 1903. And the most upsetting to me is the baseball helmet, because you're telling me the same people that decided 40 hours was a good amount to work were the same people that were letting baseball players just get bonked in the head. And as a reminder, we have been predicting a shorter work week for decades now. But when people and organizations started to think about this onslaught of free time, they became nervous. And this period became known as the leisure scare. People really got in these planes and these cars, went up to bat with no helmet, and yet leisure and extra free time was too scary. So everyone have a great 3-day weekend, and remember that with the 4-day work week, it could always be like this.
It could always be like this. 4-day work weeks all the way. Some people even have 32-hour work weeks. Some people just work part-time, and you figure out you, boo. You figure out you. Do what feels right. Make some money out there. Sometimes you need to make money for the Matrix, so that way you can interact. But we'll break away. We're going to keep it going. Bro, what? How? How does that paddle even make you move? The physics ain't nothing. He's got beetle wings in there too. That's how. It's that beetle wing pogo stick guy again, except now he's figured out. We're gonna keep it going. Interesting.
city is applying pesticide to reduce the threat of the West Nile virus. To minimize exposure to the pesticide, please go indoors immediately until the trucks have passed.
They tell you it's not for you, it's for the pesticides, but I'm like, bro, something ain't clicking. The things ain't mathin'. The math ain't mathin'.
Bir taraftan ay doğuyor. Diğer taraftan güneş batıyor. Aynı anda güneşin batışı ve ayın doğuşu.
I didn't even either that's a really big bonfire or there's two suns. It's the only explanation.
I refused to go through the airport body scanner, and I had an argument with the security person at the airport telling them it harms my body, and they said no, it does not. I said I can prove it, and they said no, you cannot. And body scanners used in airports around the world emit ionizing radiation, which has been linked to DNA damage, increasing the risk of cancer. There's so much radiation that the people who work next to the body scanners have a higher chance of developing brain cancer, tumors, and all types of issues related to their brains. This is documented and proven. Maybe the people that always complain that they feel ill, tired, nausea, or have headaches while they're traveling is because they're getting cooked in radiation every time they pass through the scanners before getting on the plane and when they land and get off. This is why I opt out and ask for a manual pat down instead. This is especially important if you travel a lot, if you're a pregnant woman, or if you're a child whose skull is typically only 1/4 the density of an adult. If you found this helpful, make sure to share it with someone that you know travels. Check out my profile because I post a video like this every single day.
Good information to know. Unfortunately, I've gone through that manual pat down process. It's just not worth it. I'm already pretty late when it comes to getting to the airport itself. Any more delays, I don't even know if I'd be able to make my flight. Oh boy, I procrastinate everything. We're gonna keep it going. Just two more. Yo, this is crazy. I sometimes go outside at night to hit that like button real hard, and I tell you, I listen to these frogs, these crickets, the nighttime noises, and man, it is healing of sorts. I feel I'm like, yo, I get this like button real good, but like just the environment alone, just being out here, listening to the things, the animals, feeling nice, feeling recharged. We're gonna keep it going. Just one more.
This is Nick.
How do you get out of the matrix? The matrix is all just a mental construct. Now, I know some people want to be completely sovereign. That means they want to cut off absolutely anything to do with paperwork, certificates, blah, blah, blah. Not me, because then you're just fighting the system and the beast, and you're constantly using your energy against the beast. In my way, I constructed that I was basically born a free human being, and that nobody could dictate to me what I could and couldn't do, no matter what paperwork, whatever. And so I decided at a young age to learn all the loopholes, because you see, the elites and the rich basically made the rules, but they also made loopholes for themselves. And those loopholes are actually what can make or break you in the future. So we were all taught, you basically graduate university, you get a job, 9 to 5, you do the whole thing of consume, work, pay off your debt, and you do that till you're 65, and then you retire, and then maybe you get to enjoy your life. Now, I had a medical emergency when I was 21. They thought I had brain cancer, and they gave me 4 months to live. So that kind of set me off on a little bit of why are we here? What's the purpose of life? And I went and I traveled to some of the most remote destinations in the world to try and see how other people live. When I came back to Canada, I was like, I know exactly what I want. I don't want to work an office job. I don't want to do the 9 to 5. I don't want to do the whole buy clothes just to impress people, buy brand new cars just to, seem rich or whatever. I wanted to be completely financially free so that I could do whatever I wanted when I wanted. Now, does it include a lot of planning and hard work? Absolutely. So I started with going to blue collar. So I went from university to an office job that I absolutely hated, wasn't happy, to blue collar work, where I learned skills you can't even imagine how many skills you will learn by working blue collar jobs, because it allows you to basically build a home from scratch and know everything that you need to know. And if you don't know something, trust me, the guys on site will teach you everything. One thing led to another. I went into the oil patch. Now, the entire time, I made sure that I lived well under my means. That means I told myself that if I ever lost all of my jobs and I had to do a minimum wage job, that I could still survive on that minimum wage. That means I never bought a brand new car. I never bought brand new clothes. Furniture, I would always go on like Facebook, or at the time it was crazy. Like Facebook was just kind of emerging and we didn't have Facebook Marketplace. But I would constantly make sure that what I was buying wasn't brand new and that I was always living within that minimum wage kind of thing, even though I was making a lot more money working blue collar jobs or whatever. When I was down, like when the oil patch was down or there weren't any jobs on site, construction, whatever, welding, I would then email either chicken farms or farmhand for like help, and I would tell them, hey, listen, I want to learn as much as I can. I'm a hard worker. These are the skills that I have that I've learned from the oil patch and blue collar jobs and on site for construction. Could I get a job for 3 months, 2 months, 4 months, and I will work my ass off in that time, as long as I got to learn as much as I could. Now, I got turned down a lot, but I also did get people who would give me a chance, and that is how I learned how livestock worked in every sense of the way, because you're learning from people that already have that skill, those skills. Now, what's really interesting is when you work with larger contractors, you will learn that you should not own your own businesses, but you should get a trust to own your businesses. And then also they will teach you a lot of the loopholes, not just for taxes, but also how to protect yourself against government policies and laws, which trusts are amazing in, especially if you own multiple homes and so forth. So then I went and bought land, and in my head I was like, slowly I will build on that, debt free. That means I will buy land, I will try my best to pay that off. And when I was a farmhand and I was working at a chicken farm, I always got a second job as waitressing so that I could save up as much money. Now, one thing I never did is I never really went out. I maybe have gone out like 5 times, like my entire youth. So I was never into the whole going out thing or drinking or partying in any sense of the way. So I didn't really spend my money in that way. And I made sure that I always worked and always learned as many skills as I could. Now, a lot of people along the way told me that I was wasting my life and my education on, blue collar jobs that are kind of looked down upon, until 2020, when my husband and I, thankfully he was into the same lifestyle of wanting to live off grid and doing everything ourselves self-sufficiently, learning as many skills as we could. He knows how to build a truck and a car like from scratch. So from him, I learned a lot of mechanical things, such as, changing my own brakes, fixing my own rotors, starter, like you name it, I've learned it from him. I can change my own oil. It saves you a huge amount of money, by the way. So that way I never had to rely on mechanics or which are expensive, or buying brand new vehicles and constantly having that sort of debt. That means I could fast track to paying off all of my stuff. And so when 2020 came, a lot of the people that said that I was wasting my time all of a sudden were like, hey, how did you know this would happen? Like, how did you set all of this up? Like, was there anything that kind of told you this? Well, there was a guy that I met on site. He was mid-50s, I would say. When he was 30, he had a bit of a burnout and a mental breakdown from a divorce. He was from Vancouver, and he said that he would never live that city lifestyle again. What he did is he went and bought land up in the Northwest Territories, went into blue collar, and then slowly built a house, like a beautiful log house, over the years. He said it took him 10 years to have everything set up, to learn all the skills that he needed to, because he would go hunting with the guys. He went and got all the courses that he needed to for anything that he required, to live off of grid. And he slowly started to build everything to the point to work 1 week out of the year to basically afford everything, such as his taxes, bills, and food that you can't really make yourself, such as coffee, oil, all of that stuff. So what he does is he only works 4 months out of the year, like during the winter when the oil field is super busy, and then he can just sit around or go travel or buy whatever he wants and not have to worry about what society is doing, because society is a huge dumpster fire. And I noticed that when I was younger. So how do you get out of the matrix? Is first you have to wrap your mind around the false teachings and brainwashing. We've been brainwashed our entire lives that there is absolutely no options or ways out of it. There is. It is harder work, and you will have to physically work harder, but mentally it is so much easier, which is why I do all of the videos that I do, trying to get people to really think differently about life and not just the materialistic things that they're constantly pushing at us as sort of, you know, this is the way to the happiness and happy place, which it is not. Showing off what you have to other people that don't even care about you, to put yourself in debt so that you're a constant slave to the system, is not the way out of the system. But I want to know something. Like, if you guys had a wish that could come true, a snap of a finger, how would you be living your life in the freest form that you can, considering the constructs of the system and the way it has been built against us?
Wow, this was a long one. You never break away from the matrix. You still got to work with the matrix. Even the person had to work in order to pay the taxes and whatnot. So, will you ever truly break away? Mentally, I did. Physically, I didn't. But I will one day. You'll see. Okay, quite interesting. Definitely good to know her life path, if you will. Sounds like she's doing the best that she can with the experiences that have happened to her. To me, I go, hey, if this is the end goal, just become a Buddhist monk. Let go of the materialistic. You live the way that you want. You get everything that you intend that's right for you, you know. I'm just like, there's many ways. This is one way, but there's many ways. All right, goons, you made it to the end. Yes, the last one was long, but I hope you're having fun. Are you having fun? Do let me know. And by the way, if you made it to the end, also let me know. What do I have? What can I even... Tinkerbell? I'm doing Tinkerbell? I can't even tell it's Tinkerbell. I have Tinkerbell. You're gonna do Tinkerbell. We're gonna do the Tinkerbell. All right. Let me know. Tinkerbell. There should be videos on the screen now. Click on either one of them. Continue the Goon Fix. The one in the middle, you can subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
Wake up.